Hey fam, I'm up here at work and I am working. So I am working on my Burning Man project, my photo bot, which is just an automated way for people to take good pictures, alright? I did the project last year. I'll probably post a link to the pictures at the bottom of this video. But like this is my gift to Burning Man. I like doing things that require my brain to think. This is the fourth year I've done the project. Last year was the most success I've ever had just because, iterating on something from scratch, I really like it. You get to think a lot harder. So, yeah, here's what I'm working with over here. I have a Raspberry Pi, a relay hooked up to that, and a button, but really it's just kind of a hot wire. It's just two wires that you touch together. So that's what I have going on. The code that I'm writing is a lot of it I've already written before because I was using Python to do like the USB serial, and a lot of it was written in Bash, just pure Linux scripting, because that to me is easier. But in reality, as I'm like cranking out this Python, I realize I'm like way more confident and I just don't work on stuff like this enough. And so that's why Burning Man is great, because it gives you motivation to get stuff like this done. So let's talk about the code because I'm boring you. Alright, so I couldn't figure out how to really record on that screen, so we'll just do it like this. Basically, Python script looks something like this, where I do all the imports at the top, get all my stuff set up that I need to, get all my functions defined, and then have like a main loop that basically waits for a button press and then does some stuff. So, because I've worked on this project a few years running, I kind of know exactly what needs to happen in the sequence that it is going to happen for like the best user experience. Because I haven't written this in Python, I don't know how smooth that's going to work. So let's see how quick I can finish it. Alright, so need Gphoto to be able to get the camera. Oh my god, don't look at my password, you guys. Please don't. You're gonna hack my machine. Alright. Yeah, just get me the thing that'll let me shoot the camera without needing to push the button. Come on. Come on. Almost there. Good enough. Right. So here's where we are. We got some weird thing where it's saying like this isn't a path, but like, dude, that's a path, alright? That's like your home file. Alright, but it's like, dude, this isn't a path, so I gotta dive in there deeper and figure out why my code, it's not as clean as it could be. But, you know, comment down below if you have any ideas about how to organize it better. Hey there fam. Okay, so I'm just gonna wrap up this video by reviewing the code that I wrote. So, basically, the photobot, I chose Python. It's not my strong suit, but it is something I'm familiar in enough to get this done. My dependencies are pretty much just, I was using the MD5 to detect changes in the file, OS to actually run commands as if it was being ran from the command line. This RPi GPIO, which just helps control the pins on the Raspberry Pi. Serial to actually control the let's see, USB relay, and then sub-process I didn't use because I had a problem in the time just to like do the weights. So setting this up is really easy. You just set up the GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi and you tell it to pull up. So that makes it where whenever you push the button, it will register as something. In this case, next we set up the relay, basically just telling it the port that it needs to communicate, which is the USB, and then the baud rate, which is just a standard 9600. And then you actually open that relay. You open the connection to the relay. Let's see, so I have a global variable that's called process active. I use this to not allow double presses to the button and trigger I guess a backup. I don't think that I'll need this because the way that Python is running in a single thread, that it is not going to, basically the process should be blocking whenever the video or the camera is capturing an image. Then we have the the actual code for opening the relay, which you just send it a string as hexadecimal, so that's the string in human readable form, and then send it in hex, I guess, or I don't know. No, that's hexadecimal. You decode it into binary or something, or some sort of string form that that little guy likes. So one turns it on, one turns it off. As far as taking the pictures is concerned, I do update the instructions and tell them to hold still. Then run the command to actually take the picture. I don't have the cable like I mentioned in the other parts, so I wasn't able to test this. I'm hoping by using os.system that it is blocking the rendering path, or whatever you want to call it, execution path, and having it where I will be able to, when this is completed, then just go ahead, display the picture, and then turn off the lights. In the meanwhile, I kind of accomplished that down below through this, if not old, if the hash of the file is different, then reset the button, turn off the relay, copy the picture over to with the timestamp, and then reset the hashes and display the picture. So I was kind of trying to do this in an automated way, but it didn't, it wasn't really, I wasn't able to test it just because without the camera being there and just trying to change the file, it didn't seem to be working like I wanted to. So displaying the images, I just use some program that allows me to do full screen, and then this is where I use the sub-process. I guess I got sub-process to work. I'm not really sure how. I think I had to do like a pip install, and even then it failed. I'm not sure what I was doing. I think I need to break down everything better into the list, because popen takes a list and then passes that into the commands. Passes it into the command line, something like that. Over here for display instructions, this is probably going to have to be non-blocking as well, so I'll have to change that to sub-process. And then save picture, I think I'm going to want to make a sub-process so that it will not be blocking the execution. Then I put everything into a start just to make it a little bit easier for me to rationalize, so that whenever the button is pressed down here, so it's just a while loop, makes it where I am trying to check if the button is not being checked. If the button has been pressed, then display that. I was showing the new hash value just to try to make sense out of that. And then start, time, sleep. So that's pretty much the gist of it. I'm not proud of this code, don't have it tested. Kind of don't even want to publish this video, but I'm holding myself accountable because I did write it, and even if I'm not proud of it, then I need to make it something better. So I'm going to finish working on this probably Thursday night whenever I have a cable. I think I have one somewhere. Just need to find it. So that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video explaining what I'm working on, everything that goes into it. Alright? Okay, fam. It is almost midnight now. I've been on it for a couple hours, and I have something that kind of works, so it works good enough, and that's what we're going with. And yeah, I'll post the code down below, and I don't have a cable to plug into the camera to see if it works, so that'll get delivered on Friday. I just realized that the one that I had is just a power cable. It doesn't have pins for data, so somebody got rich off of that one. Yeah, this project, it's really not that exciting. I'll do like a part 2 of this, like with like the physical setup, like once I have like the most part of it, but this is like just the boring coding part, so I don't even know why I showed this. Jeez.